Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. This is your October forecast. So we're going to see what's going on in the month of October for you, all the good, all the bad, everything to look forward to, everything to be aware of, any messages. We're getting into all of it. And today we have a selection of crystals for you to choose from. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. And basically you're going to see which of these crystals is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then as soon as you make up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments in the description and jump right into your pile. By the way, if you like how I read tarot and you want to see more of it, then be sure to head to my Patreon to watch all my additional readings. There are over 95 exclusive readings you'll only get access to on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about your future life with your spouse or your next relationship, as well as one all about the brutal truth about your love connection. So if you want a real dose of honesty, that's a great one to watch. But like I said, there's so much content over on Patreon and you get early access to YouTube videos. If that sounds good to you and you'd like to sign up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour session, a full hour-length session, a live session, a pre-recorded session, a tarot reading, astrology reading, open channeling reading, a combination, you get to customize your time with me, so it's the perfect session for you. So if you would like to book a time slot with me, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you lots of love and light. Let's get into pile one. If you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But let's go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Strength card, the Magician, the Two of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Princess of Swords. So what's coming through right away is in the month of October, a lot of you guys are going to be finding your strength, especially if there has been someone in your life who's been trying to kind of dominate you, impose their will on you. I feel like for some of you guys, this month is really about finding your own power. And I can see this King of Wands is just sticking out to me so strong. I feel like this King of Wands is maybe someone who doesn't even realize that they're doing this, but they have a very strong force of will. They have a very strong and powerful, like, internal drive of knowing what they want out of you in particular. And I feel like sometimes this person imposes their will on you or just kind of like steamrolls over you, and it's almost like you don't have time to find your own voice. The Princess of Swords is actually reversed, and definitely swords cards are about finding your voice, communicating. So I do feel like there's something that you feel like you can't even say with this person, or an energy around feeling very like they get to call the shots, they get to decide what's going on. And I feel like this month is about you realizing your own power, that you are a creator, you are the master of your own destiny, the master of your own fate, and maybe taking steps to realize, like I said, how powerful you are, that you don't need to put up with this. You don't need to allow someone else to like call all the shots, because you get to decide. This is your life. And I do feel like in October, there may be an energy of you stepping out from underneath this person, or removing, like taking your power back in some way, and really realizing what a part to play you have in this connection, that you're not just like along for the ride. You're not in this sidecar of life and they're in like the main motorcycle driving it and determining where you go. You know what I mean? You're not in the back seat or the driver's or the passenger seat, I should say. You're in the driver's seat of your life. And I feel like you're going to be taking steps to really realize that. So if there has been someone that has just been kind of domineering, just very much the one who wants to dictate everything, you may even be creating distance between yourself and this person this month. That's what I'm seeing. Let me spin some astro dice and let's start the reading that way. I've been seeing some other readers do that and I think it's a really cool idea. So let's try it. Okay, so we got the third house, Taurus, and the sun. Wow. And that definitely adds up to kind of what I am seeing, because the third house is the house of communication. So it is that house where you are going to say what's bothering you. You're going to speak up for yourself. The sun is about your own soul, your own destiny, your own opinion, and really your own power. Like the sun is your source of power. That's why if you have, say, sun in the first house or sun in the sixth house, that can make you very physically powerful and literally give you a powerful body, because the sun, wherever it's placed, is going to give you that strength. It's going to give you that power and that confidence. And then Taurus is a very stubborn energy. It's a fixed sign. It's the first fixed sign in the zodiac, the second house. So, when a Taurus decides something, it's like, I'm not budging. I am going to do this and I'm going to make my mind up, and you're not going to change my mind. You're not going to twist me. I'm going to choose what I want for myself. And also Taurus knows what it values. So I feel like for you, this is about sometimes listening to your own heart, listening to your own intuition in the month of October, and no longer giving in to what someone else has to say or letting them steamroll over you, because Spirit is saying, you know what you want, and you know what is good for you. You know what is the best for you. You know what's in your heart in a way that no one else can understand. So make sure that you're actually listening to that and not discounting it or devaluing it. I think so much of the time, like if we're in a dysfunctional relationship or we have someone in our life who's really trying to dominate over us, it's almost like it's easier to go along with it, or it's easier to just forget, even lie to ourselves and say, yeah, like it's, no, I do like Mexican food. I know I'm allergic to cilantro and I couldn't eat anything, but I enjoyed the plain tortilla I had, and yeah, it was fine. You know what I mean? We create these ridiculous lies, and then maybe after the relationship ends, we look back and we think, oh my God, I can't believe I did that, or that was so crazy that I put up with that. But it's almost like we know the whole time, and we have those two sides of ourselves, the side that is listening and is genuinely paying attention to what's happening, and this other side that is like tuning it all out, pretending it's not going on, covering our ears, and just like la la la, acting like everything's fine, And I feel like that's what can be so powerful, is to find our own power and confront what's going on, and to be honest with ourselves about it, to perceive it accurately. So yeah, I feel like that's a huge part of what's going on for you guys in October, is there's some situation that you have felt very not in control of, or you have felt like you're just being swept along with some kind of a current. You've just felt like you've just been along for the ride and you haven't had a say in things. And now it's like you're stepping out front, and you're actually going to be the one dictating how you feel, what's going on, what's going to happen next. And you're taking your power back. The Magician card is so powerful, coming out next to the Strength card. This is your reminder from Spirit that you are so much more powerful than you ever realized. And as I was saying that, I looked at my timer and it was 555. So yeah, another confirmation. And fives are a number of change. They indicate that there is a change. Sometimes fives can be change that we don't even want. It's like that change that can be painful. It's that change that isn't necessarily like just sunshine and rainbows and the happiest like moment of change happening, like a good change, like a wedding, or a good change, like a birthday party or something. But it can be that difficult change, but that leads us to something so much better. And I feel like for you guys, this is about realizing that you can handle literally anything. You can handle whatever life sends your way. You are so much more powerful and capable than you even realize. And this is about really confronting that, really getting out in front of that, and like claiming that, knowing that, reminding yourself of that. So let me get into some of the other cards we have for you guys. These oracle cards. What is pile number one? What is happening for them in the month of October? So we got Archangel Raguel, Justice, Harmony, Solutions. Okay. This one is Journey Guide, Travel, Change in Location, Achievement, Completion, Reward, Ascended Masters, Devoted Spirits with Specific Intentions, and Personal Guide, Guardian Angel, Spirit Family. So maybe for some of you guys, like there's a lot of angels, there's a lot of kind of entities around you. that I can see: the personal guide, your spirit guide, Archangel Raguel, ascended masters. So maybe for some of you guys, you need to know again that you are divinely supported in this. Maybe you have been feeling alone, and I think sometimes that's why we may gravitate towards that powerful person, is because sometimes we can feel powerless, or we can feel like no one else is going to stand up for me, or I'm kind of alone. So maybe someone that in all other situations it would have just been a huge red flag and we would have like stayed away from them. When we're feeling that vulnerable energy, we end up actually gravitating towards that King of Wands. Not that the King of Wands is bad in all situations, but just that's what's coming through. Is this maybe someone who's attempting to kind of like dictate, attempting to kind of dominate and use their power over you? And I feel like that message for you is you are so divinely supported, okay? You are not on your own here. You are not just being left behind. And especially Archangel Raguel helps with arguments. So if there's been someone that you have been arguing a lot with, you can also call on Archangel Raguel when you need help with getting cooperation, when you want more harmony, especially in families or in groups. Archangel Raguel is great with that. So, there may be a way that this situation also could be worked through. We also got the Two of Cups. And so that can talk about finding more harmony, getting along better. This could even be taking that difficult King of Wands energy and learning to vibe, learning to get along, learning to smooth things over. But I also think there's a time and a place for really taking our power back. And that's what I'm seeing for you guys. One thing I will say is if there is someone in your life that isn't really comfortable when you're powerful, like I always think the vibe is, of course, there's also fair weather friends that are only with you when things are thriving. But I have noticed a lot more that there are friends that like love to be around you when everything is falling apart, or love to be around you when you're crying. But then as soon as you come in and you're like, oh my God, I'm in such a good mood. Oh my gosh, I'm dating the cutest guy, or this happened in my career, I got a promotion. It's like suddenly it's quiet. Suddenly they don't care. Suddenly they aren't as interested. And maybe those friends are used to dominating over you. Maybe they don't feel comfortable when things are thriving for you because they're afraid you're going to leave them behind. And I feel like for you guys, this is really about realizing you are the powerhouse and this is your life, and you don't have to tolerate anything that isn't making you feel that way. And if there is someone around you that really doesn't cheer you on, and when something good happens to you, they're not actually super excited, maybe they can put on a fake smile and be like, yeah, that's great, but you can tell they don't actually mean it. Again, that is so your indication that they don't have your best interests at heart. And I do feel like if there's a relationship like that around you, like I said, Archangel Raguel does help with all kinds of disputes, arguments, conflict in general. So, if there's been a lot of conflict around you, or someone who's repeatedly causing you conflict, I feel like your message is you should be able to glow as brightly as possible. And if you're in a relationship, or if you're in a connection with someone who doesn't accept that, that's a red flag. We got the sun, the dice rolled onto the sun. And I feel like for you guys, yeah, the sun is always going to shine brightly. The sun is always going to do its thing. If someone is making you feel like there's something bad about you shining brightly, if there's someone around you that is going to make a sarcastic comment, or you're like, yeah, I had this happen, and they have to make a dig, or they have to criticize, like I'm sorry, that is a red flag in my opinion. I'm not saying it's a deal breaker and you have to cut them off immediately, but I always think it's important to pay attention to how you feel with someone over the long term. If you feel like reduced, if you feel exhausted, if you feel depleted all the time, that's really all you need to know, because life is meant to be enjoyed. And yes, there's also hard parts of life, difficult parts of life. But honestly, I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is about finding your strength. And that's the thing, is Raguel also loves an underdog. Raguel loves to help the people that have been discounted, or the people that are being treated unfairly. That's why he holds these scales of justice. And as you can see, justice, harmony, solutions. So for a lot of you guys, this could be calling on help, calling on asking Raguel to help you find your voice, or realizing that when you're in that underdog position, that's when your guides are so strong around you, and that's when they love to help you and they love to see you succeed. So sometimes when everything is going wrong in our life, it's so easy to fall into like panic or a spiral, or be like, oh my gosh, this is so awful. But a lot of times that's when we're going to get the most help. That's when our guides are so strong around us. that's when they are rooting for us the most. So don't be afraid to call on your guides. Don't be afraid to call on the angels. Don't be afraid to call on any of the ascended masters either. Let's get into a few more tarot cards for you, pile number 1. So we want to know all about what's happening for pile 1 in the month of October. In the month of October, the King of Swords. That's an energy about, once again, communication, finding your voice, and realizing you have the authority to speak up with your voice as well. Let's see. We got the 7 of Pentacles. Okay. What is going to be happening for pile number 1 in the month of October? The 6 of Wands. The 7 of Wands. Okay. The 2 of Pentacles reversed. And let's see, the Queen of Swords, and that's reversed again. And also the 7 of Cups. And let me get one more card. The 4 of Wands. Okay. So yeah, with the Queen of Swords coming out reversed and the Princess of Swords reversed, again, to me, it feels like someone may not feel comfortable when you communicate. It's interesting that you also got the King of Swords upright. So that could even show that this could be someone where you might have to communicate with them in almost like a little bit of a more masculine way. Maybe they're not someone that's comfortable talking at all about emotions or talking about spiritual things or any of those like feminine realms. And you may have to keep things very like logical and very rational, and very kind of masculine energy, I guess. Not to stereotype, but that's just what a lot of those correspondences are with tarot and metaphysical things. I feel like for you guys, this is about also realizing, what I'm hearing is that you have a right to feel how you feel. There's something in you that sometimes questions, do I even have a right to feel this way? Am I even like allowed to think this? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm irrational. Maybe I, don't get to do this, or maybe I don't deserve to be happy. Maybe this is what I deserve. And I feel like Spirit is really wanting you to know, no, that is not the case. You deserve the world. You deserve to be so happy. You deserve to have all the joy. And again, if something is taking that away from you, if something is weighing heavily on your heart, Spirit did not put you on this world to just suffer the whole time. I always think it's so interesting because there's so many people that will just go along with like what their parents think, or what a partner thinks, or what a boss thinks, or what a friend thinks. And it's almost like they don't realize that this is their life. They have a specially assigned personal guide who is there for them and is rooting for them. And that's why your guides, I have mentioned this in other readings, I guess, but I feel like I suffered the most in my life when I was trying to be the most selfless, when I was the type to constantly overgive my energy to random people, when I was the type to not put myself first, when I was the type to kind of go out of my way. And I would pride myself on that, like, oh, I give the shirt off my back, I'm just really generous, I'm really nice. And I couldn't understand why everything wasn't going right for me, why so many things seemed to be messed up. And I just thought it was so unfair. Like, how can the world be that cruel? I'm doing so much for others and this is how I get thanked. But what I had to realize was that my guides were not happy about that for me. They were not cheering on the fact that I was like over giving, that I was not sticking up for myself, that I was not treating myself with love. They want me to prioritize myself. My guides are on my team. And I think so much of the time spiritual people think that to be really spiritual means to overgive, means to prioritize others, means to treat yourself like this afterthought. And that is not the case. You were put on this planet with a special mission, with a special goal, and it's going to be really important for you to listen and pay attention to that, no matter how difficult it may seem at times. So yeah, I feel like that message for you guys is just making sure that you really are listening to yourself, your goals. I can see that some of you guys are really going to be weighing a decision in the month of October. We did get the 2 of Pentacles reversed, so there may be something that you're having to decide upon. There may be something that you're really going back and forth about and you can't make your mind up. I feel like Spirit is saying that also some of you guys need to kind of reassign your energy. Again, from directing it towards constant conflict, which may be draining your energy, sometimes you have to just realize that there's something about the situation that you can't fix, that you can't change. And that's not your job, that's God's job. That's a mantra I had to give to myself. And that was really how I started moving out of that overgiving energy. I definitely felt like I used to feel so responsible. If I saw someone homeless on the street or I saw someone going through so much, I would maybe sometimes sit and talk with them or have a conversation or try. And I had to realize a lot of this stuff is nothing I can change. And a lot of it is I need to focus on myself. I need to focus on my life so that it doesn't fall apart. And I need to focus on self-improvement instead of funneling my energy into others. And that's when things started to get a lot better for me. So again, I feel like this message is just about realizing your own power and realizing you don't need to give that power away to anyone else. There could be a lot of fun happening this month as well with the 6 of Wands coming out and the 4 of Wands. There could be a really fun party that you guys go to. For some of you guys, a wedding, or even showing off on social media a little bit. I feel like Spirit almost wants you guys to like put on some makeup if you wear makeup, put on a cute outfit, go out, have fun, and like get your groove on a little bit. I guess that's like a really old phrase, but get your power back. You know, I'm hearing that movie title, How Stella Got Her Groove Back. And I feel like this is about realizing how special you are instead of putting yourself in this kind of, it's almost like you guys have lost some confidence or something. Like I feel like I need to gas you guys up or just make you feel better. And it makes me sad because I feel like there's something in your life that is making you question yourself or making you feel not that great. And I feel like your guides are just like, oh my God, if only you could see this situation clearly, you would realize how freaking amazing you are. And if someone is trying to take that away from you, that may be because they're insecure, they're afraid of your power, but it is not the reality. Let me get into some messages for pile number 1 for the month of October. What messages do we have for pile 1 for the month of October? So we got karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict. Okay, so this could be a karmic relationship. And that's why I think a lot of readers always want to warn people when they're like, oh my gosh, I want to meet my karmic twin flame, soulmate, past life. It's like, well, it could be your enemy from a past life. I mean, you guys may have had unfinished business. You guys may have been the loves of each other's lives, but someone abandoned the other one or cheated or went off to war and never called again because they perished in battle and the other one never knew and is so angry. Or, you know, there's so many different situations that could have happened in past lives or in karmic connections. And usually it's actually can be very almost triggering because it can bring up those pains from past lifetimes that feel still so fresh. And so, you know, be careful what you ask for. But yeah, some of this King of Wands energy, it could be a past karmic relationship, which is always a great opportunity to grow in your soul. But I also feel like the message for you is this is your life, this is your destiny, this is your lifetime. And if someone is really taking you out of your feelings of power and alignment, then it may be worth questioning, how much do I want to give to this situation? Or, you know, how do I want to approach this? Maybe there is a way for you to change, for you to transmute, and for you to glow up, and this person would still be okay with that. But a lot of times those karmic connections can keep us very much in the past or can keep us into an old lifetime version of ourselves. Let's get some more cards for you. Pile number 1. Wait, it's not time yet. Things are being woven. Okay, so maybe some of you guys needed to hear that message, that if there's a situation that you're not sure of how to react to yet, then it may be okay to wait and, you know, change things or take a step at the right timing. And then you guys got the great severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. The great severing. So when you sever something, you end it and you separate those cords, you cut it in half, or you sever it, you know, you put a stop to it, you cut it in two, or you separate those two cords that are tied together. There is a disconnection that happens. And, you know, with this, it's also pointing out that anger and conflict, which I can sense around you guys, that maybe there has been a lot of conflict, or you've just been feeling really, really drained. And I feel like for you, you know, I feel like there's a part of you that needs permission or needs to allow yourself to even go there, because there's some part of you that does not want to let go. And there is that message, of course, that if you're waiting for things to happen in divine timing, that's totally okay, totally understandable. But I do feel like, sometimes we have to call a spade a spade. Sometimes we have to admit that a situation just isn't working out, no matter how much we may want it to. If it's repeatedly causing us conflict, if it's taking us out of our own powerful alignment, then that's a little bit of a red flag. And if we're able to step into our power and our alignment and still keep that person in our lives, then great. And that's a beautiful thing. But sometimes we also have to be willing to accept that that's not always the case. Sometimes we do need to create that space or just admit, that this isn't working out. And I feel like that's kind of what's coming to my mind for you guys, is being willing to confront that. And let me get one final message for you. Pile number 1. Wow, the courageous peony, multifaceted, unique nature, let yourself be seen. And I love the courageous peony. So the bravery it takes, I guess, for a peony to go into full bloom. And that's the same thing for us, because I feel like for you, there is some energy around you guys, like not wanting to show your power completely, not wanting to be yourself, not wanting to be seen. And maybe there's something about either this connection, or maybe it's not even about some other King of Wands in our life, but sometimes it's just our connection with ourselves that is holding us back or making us question or making us doubt. Maybe it's even someone from our past. But the point is that we're the ones who can heal that. And we're the only ones who can make that choice to move forward, and that choice to embrace the future and all our beautiful potential, instead of staying in a disempowered energy where we let someone else dictate. We get to choose. We get to be the ones to say what happens with our life, what happens with our destiny, and the kind of beautiful life that we do embrace. So that is what I have for you, pile number 1. I really hope it resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my readings, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about your future life with your spouse or your next relationship. But there are over 95 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. And I posted another one about the brutal truth about this connection, also what is happening for you by your birthday. There is so much content over on Patreon. If you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're interested in a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, a tarot reading, astrology session, open channeling session, a combination, you get to really customize your session so it's perfect for you. If that sounds good and you're interested in booking a slot with me, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the 6 of Swords, the Empress, the Ace of Pentacles reversed, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and the 6 of Cups. So for some of you guys, this could be a literal trip that you guys are going on in the month of October. The 6 of Swords can talk about travel, especially over water, like taking a boat ride, that kind of a thing. But of course, in the modern day era, it could be taking a plane trip, going on a road trip. A lot of you guys may be traveling in the month of October. I also feel like there is a message about you guys just being under a lot of pressure with that Queen of Pentacles reverse. It could even be some kind of financial pressure. And there is a message that for some of you guys, if you actually went through and looked at your finances and kind of took a glance at it, you may have more finances than you realize. This may be a situation where you are ready to make some kind of a big change. You are ready to exit out of a situation or enter into a new situation, but you're unable to do so because of a lack of finances or because the finances aren't aligned correctly. And I do feel like there is a message that you can take control of the situation, and if you were to take an actual look at it, maybe things would be a little bit better than you thought. Maybe this is a situation that you're stressing yourself out over nothing, and it's not as bad as you may think. It may not be as bad as you have in your mind. Also, also with the Lady and the Six of Cups, there's a connection there to motherhood. And what's coming through for me is how sometimes, especially with moms, they can be like a little frazzled, or they can feel like they don't have any kind of like time of their own, identity of their own. I feel like for some of you guys, there's really a need for rest and relaxation in the month of October, because it feels like your energy is feeling very frazzled. The Queen of Pentacles, like I said, reversed, can talk about being under a lot of pressure. And the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles also connect very strongly to nature. So I almost feel like this could be a call for you to spend more time in nature, that in the month of October, that's going to be very good for you. If you can just go for a walk near your house, or spend some time hiking through the woods, or walking along the beach if you live near a lake, or a ocean or a river or whatever. I feel like for some of you guys, you're going to get more downloads in nature. And also there's something about, in general, just putting up boundaries with people where they may not even be realizing how much they're depleting your energy or how drained you feel. And I feel like you're such a giver. You're such a person that likes to take care of others, look after them, but sometimes you may be over giving. The Six of Cups can talk about an over giving situation. I feel like for you, this could be about really being honest with yourself about your needs and your wants, and really learning to respect that. So like if you have a partner and say, every time you come home from work, that partner is rushing up to you wanting to talk about their day, and you just get so frazzled at work, you just get so overstimulated, and you just like need 30 minutes after you get off work to like go sit in the shower and chill and just relax. You might tell your partner that, like, listen, I love you and it's nothing against you, but like you got to give me 30 minutes. I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to say hi. Maybe we can make eye contact and nod at each other, but that's it. I need my 30 minutes to go shower, be alone in my bathroom, and just chill and like do a quick eye mask or something, and then I will emerge. We can make dinner together, we can talk, but I just need some time or space for myself. So can you do this? Or maybe it's like at work, carving out that time of like, I'm going to leave during my lunch hour to go for a walk in nature, and I'm gonna regenerate. I feel like this message is that it's gonna be really on you to take the onus for finding peace and calm, because some of you guys just feel really overstimulated, like you're under so much pressure, like you can't really function on your highest level. And Spirit may be saying it may literally affect your finances as a result. So make sure, if that's happening to you, where you are like, yeah, I feel so burnt out that I literally can't even imagine. I dream all the time of just quitting my job, but I don't have the money. There may be things you can do to moderate that. There may be things you can do to switch that up and to like take the pressure off a little bit. I want to get some astro dice for you guys for this reading. Let's see what's going to come through for pile 2. So we got Uranus in Cancer in the 12th house. So the 12th house is a very heavy house to be dealing with. And it can definitely talk about mental undoing, mental stress that we're under, traumas, that kind of a thing. It's also where we go to retreat or we go to escape. It can be things like monasteries and asylums and jails and places where I would imagine, I've never been in jail, maybe it's really loud, I could also see that, but like where there's kind of this peaceful quiet and you're away from the world. You're not in the world anymore. You're kind of outside of it in some way. Even it can talk about going up to the astral realm to do that, especially with Cancer coming through. And Cancer, of course, is a very psychic energy. So I feel like for you guys, this is maybe even about learning to find this peace in your day-to-day life, that at those times when you get overwhelmed, that your mind is your most powerful tool, and that sometimes it's about even having just a place that you go to mentally that makes you feel good. Even sometimes, that may be from your memory. It may be like your childhood bedroom, or some place your family would always go on vacation growing up, or your hometown, or whatever. I feel like with the Six of Cups coming through, it's interesting because the Six of Cups, like I said, connects through with children, childhood, and also motherhood, like the Empress as well, because the Empress is highly connected with motherhood. So I don't know, I feel like there's some connection with you with even like going back home. Maybe you'll see your family, visit your family, or even just paying attention to those times in your life when you felt really, really aligned, when you felt really, really safe. For some of you guys, this could even be like a pregnancy, having children, giving birth at some point. Maybe that's just something on your mind a lot. But I also feel like there is a message for you about really being intentional with your energy, because some of you guys, I feel like, give it away too much. Almost like that super frazzled mom that has no energy and she's snapping at her kids. She's maybe being not a super nice mom because she's like at the end of her rope. She's so done. She's so exhausted. She has nothing left to give. She's already given all her energy away to her kids, to her husband, and she just has nothing left. So she ends up being not the best version of herself. And it's almost like if we can learn to realize what's going on, we can sometimes realize I don't need to keep overgiving to this. I don't need to keep draining myself to such a point where I'm so exhausted. And maybe there's things I can change, maybe there's things I can adjust. If I'm at a job that the boss is just a little crazy and I'm getting mentally drained every time I go in, maybe there's things I can do. Maybe it's as simple as I'm going to wear headphones so I can't hear it when she's screaming. And, maybe the boss is okay with that. Maybe they're not. But if you bring it up and you try it, I mean, that's the only way you'll know, or maybe that's not okay and I'm not allowed to wear headphones at work, but maybe I can go for a walk. Maybe I can find something that's going to kind of soothe me and give me some peace. And maybe I can take some active steps to think about leaving that situation if I really am being so frazzled and exhausted and the person isn't understanding at all. Because most people who are healthy would be like, yeah, if you're completely exhausted at work, put on the headphones. Or if you need 30 minutes after you come home from work to chill and decompress, go ahead and go into our bedroom, relax, enjoy. So yeah, I feel like for some of you guys, this is kind of like asking for something you need, or even being aware of it for yourself, like giving yourself that permission to feel those things, to ask for it, and really taking it as well. The Empress is also kind of an energy around self-care and looking after how you feel and making sure that you're taking that time out to relax, and also giving yourself that permission to feel that way, giving yourself that permission. Venus energy, and of course the Empress has the symbol of Venus on it, isn't about fighting. It's not about war. It's not about battling. It's about relaxing. It's about enjoying. It's about the finer things in life. A Venus energy person is never going to feel guilty about ordering like the filet mignon at a restaurant or whatever. You know what I mean? They're not going to ever feel weird about asking for, I need to take a nap. And that's why I think, we're also captivated with Venus, with Venusian people. It gives someone such an energy of charisma. And it's funny because counterintuitively we think, oh, if I ask for something, if I say that I'm not doing that, then they're not going to like me. But oftentimes it's that person that puts themselves first, that not only are they actually going to get more of our respect, but they're actually going to literally look better. That person that insists on having their daily nap is probably just going to look so great, not going to have any wrinkles. They're just going to look fabulous. That person that is like, oh no, I only eat the best organic foods, I'm not eating any of your potato chips. People could get outraged about that, but that person's probably going to look freaking amazing over time if they're eating really healthily, right? That bougie person that is always, I don't know, flying private or something, they're going to be a lot less stressed when they arrive than the people who are sitting in the back of coach trying to sleep in like the upright, seat that's like so tiny nowadays. Hey, listen, I'm not saying obviously it's not like, oh, let me just snap my fingers and buy a private jet then. But it's like if we can embrace that energy to a certain extent, and maybe we don't have the private jet, but we can like bring that extra pillow for us to sleep on, and we can like find ways to, swaddle ourselves and make ourselves feel better and feel a little bit bougier and feel a little bit more Venus, then that could also help us in whatever way to look our best, to feel our best. And I feel like there needs to be for you guys just more self-pampering or more self-care where you are paying attention to how you feel and not really accepting these situations in which you're expected to be just this like workhorse who has no needs or no desires of your own. Let me get into some more cards for you. Oh wait, this is the wrong deck. That's the message cards for the very end. Okay, perfect. Let's get into this deck, which looks kind of similar. We want messages for Pio 2 about the month of October. Emotional desert, inactivity, isolation. And it does feel like it's a bit of an emotional desert for you. Like, I feel like some of you guys have just been toiling away. Like, I'm seeing someone just journeying through the desert and just like being so exhausted. I went to the desert in like Death Valley, the Mojave Desert, and they have these big sand dunes, kind of like looks on this picture. And it's amazing how hard they are to walk on. Like if you've ever walked in really soft, deep sand on the beach, you know it's like it's harder than walking on, you know, a regular sidewalk or whatever. But because the sand dunes are so high, there's no water underneath them. Like they are just so hard to walk in, and you find yourself getting so much more exhausted, especially combined with the heat. And that's what I'm kind of seeing for you guys, is it feels like you've just been pushing yourself, pushing yourself, pushing yourself. And like it's funny because I was reading this book. I think it's called The Heat Will Kill You Faster or something along those lines. It was a really interesting book about how we kind of have this misconception that like, oh, the cold is so dangerous. Being in winter, if there's a snowstorm, we're very aware of the danger. But a lot of people will think nothing of going out for a hike on like 100-degree Fahrenheit day. I don't know what that is, Celsius, sorry. But, you know, a super hot day, people will be like, oh yeah, no big deal. I'm just going to go hiking in, say, California, maybe in an area where there was like a forest fire and there's literally no shade to be found for miles. And then they may get heat exhaustion. They may end up in real trouble. Anyway, why am I bringing this up? I think so much of the time we kind of underestimate that. We can kind of think, oh yeah, like it's 105 degrees outside and I'm sweating and I've been walking for, you know, 5 miles and I haven't had any water, but it's okay. I'm just going to keep going. And I don't want to be weak and like say that I need help or stop to get a bunch of water, or I don't want to be a baby. And it's such an underestimation of ourselves, and also just like not treating ourselves with the respect that we deserve. I mean, period, your body needs water and there's nothing wrong about asking for it if you're going through the desert. And by the same token, you may need a break. And it's actually so much more stupid to underestimate yourself, or to underestimate the situation and kind of just think, oh, I'll just keep going. It doesn't matter. I don't care if I get burned out. I don't care if I feel exhausted. I'm just going to push myself, because sooner or later, you may really need that water. And I feel like that's the message for you guys, is like, why are you pushing yourself in a situation where you could easily just give yourself a pause, just give yourself a break, and just allow yourself to relax a little bit? Let's get some more cards for you. Pile number 2. Oh, that kind of threw away the other cards. This one says creation, soul expression, someone new, something new. And what messages do we have for pile number 2 for the month of October, Spirit? One more card. Teacher, learning a new path. Beneath the surface, hidden truths, something unknown. And this one is achievement, completion, reward. So yeah, I feel like for you guys, there's almost situations that you have been not wanting to tell yourself the truth on. Like this iceberg is really sticking out to me as like there's a lot of almost emotional turmoil, or a lot of, I want to say, kind of pain or frustration with a situation. And then there's trying to gloss over it and act like everything's fine and I'll just keep going and it's no big deal. And I feel like Spirit is really telling you that this situation does need to be addressed, and also that you deserve to have a beautiful life. You deserve to be really happy. So if a situation is really taking you out of that and making you feel miserable, that's also a huge red flag, and that's also something that you shouldn't be embracing. That's something that you shouldn't be just maintaining and just, oh well, I'm fine with this situation. I almost feel like some of you guys feel really stuck. I'm seeing like the Hanged Man in my mind, and I feel like you guys just feel really, I don't know what to do. And I feel like, again, there could be a vibe where you need to meditate, go into nature, take some peace out, take some calm out to kind of hear from your spirit guides. But the message is that this situation, I think, does need to change, and you're going to have to be the one to prioritize yourself. Because if a situation is just draining you, that is not tenable for the long term. Let's get into some tarot for you. Pile number 2, we want to know what's going to be happening for pile 2 in the month of October. Let's see. This one is the 6 of Pentacles. Yes. And that is a power imbalance like we see in the Six of Cups. I'm going to put this one above the Six of Cups because it really is very similar energy in some ways, not completely the same, but that six energy can talk about when there is a power imbalance or when there is one person doing more than the other. You may be overgiving, or you may be in a situation with someone that they do a lot for you and you feel very tied to them, but you're not happy in that situation. You feel not unheard, you don't feel respected. Either way, I feel like this message is like, you deserve to be happy. You deserve to feel fulfilled. And if something is taking you out of that, that is not so great. We got the Emperor. Yes, could definitely be a Emperor energy of someone who wants to kind of boss things around, wants to kind of tell you what to do, wants to be the one who's calling the shots. Queen of Wands. We also got the Three of Wands. And let's get a couple more cards. The Ace of Swords and the Temperance card. So I also feel like with the Temperance card coming through, there may be that message that you can take your time with it. You don't have to rush in, but I can definitely see with the Two and the Three of Wands coming out that you guys definitely want to make a change. You definitely want to do something different. Even if that's just traveling somewhere, it feels like you are just kind of at the end of your rope with a certain situation. Like you're just kind of done with it. You are ready to move on. And I feel like you need to know that, yeah, things are going to be aligned with the divine timing, so you don't need to freak out or panic about it. But I also feel like there is that message that you need to be the one also to take the power back, to take responsibility for your life, to realize your own authority in this situation, and to realize that you are the creator, you are the master manifestor, you get to choose what happens for you. So you don't have to stay stuck in a situation where you don't feel aligned, you don't feel respected, you don't feel happy at the end of the day. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to, is like, how happy are you? And if you're not feeling happy, or if there's a situation that you feel like is repeatedly draining your energy, then that is something to listen to, and that's something to pay attention to. Even if you just have to come up with a way of mentally blocking it out, a way to mentally, I think, go to that happy place. Sometimes it can be our mind that's just dwelling and dwelling and dwelling, but I really feel like this negativity is coming from somewhere outside of you. Like there's a situation where you don't feel fully able to like express yourself and be in your power. I feel like there is a situation in which you feel like very overburdened, like you have to do so much for someone else. And I feel like Spirit is saying that maybe it's time to make a plan. Maybe it's time to really take a look and see what needs to be shifted, changed, and adjusted. So let me get into some message cards for you. Pile number 2. What messages do you have for pile 2 for the month of October? So this one is, we got 2 for you. Perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. This one says, Hiraeth. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Longing for home, homesick for the stars. Yes, I definitely pick up that sense of homesickness. Big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. Okay, so yeah, I feel like for you guys, there is a very strong sense of being a little bit homesick. There is a very strong sense that you're kind of taking stock of where you are right now and maybe looking back towards things in the past and thinking, that was a much better time for me, or I was a lot happier with that. And I do feel like that's kind of worth investigating and like looking into. I mean, if you were a lot happier in a different situation, if there was some time when you felt much more aligned, then what could you be doing differently to access that energy now? Or how can you put up boundaries to start stepping into a happier energy for yourself? And some people aren't even going to be open to boundaries. Let's be real. There are some people in this world who will just stomp all over your boundaries no matter how much you try to give it to them, and just laugh at the whole fact that you even tried. So I think for you guys, it's going to be important to pay attention to how the boundaries are received. If you say to your partner, I do need those 30 minutes after work, I just don't want to talk, I just need to chill, and they don't respect that and they can't stand it, then that's a little bit of a red flag. I feel like you need to realize how beautiful and valuable your energy is and start paying attention to how or what your dream life would be like. What is the thing that makes you the happiest? What is the thing that brings you the highest level of excitement? What is the thing that really puts a smile on your face and some joy when you think about it? That's what I'm getting with this homesick vibe I keep getting, where you guys are looking to the past. But I also feel like some of that rumination is valuable. Of course, we don't want to glamorize the past too much because the fog of memory can make everything seem perfect even when it wasn't. But it's also worth noting, like, if I feel freaking horrible now and I keep looking back to another time when I was happier, then that's maybe my intuition trying to tell me something. And by the way, memory in astrology is ruled by the moon, which also is a very intuitive energy. Okay, so yes, those can be, that can be a powerful way that our guides can talk to us by bringing up a memory over and over. Maybe we think, I'm just obsessively thinking of my ex-boyfriend and I should be so happy in this new relationship, but I cannot stop thinking of my ex. Maybe it's not even about your ex and you're not supposed to get back together with him, but that's your guide's way of being like, hey, get out of this situation. This is bad for you. So we're just going to bring up thoughts of like Brian over and over until you can't ignore them anymore. Or maybe, you live somewhere and all you can think of is this old place you used to live. Maybe you lived there in college and you're just thinking of it almost obsessively. And maybe you're not supposed to specifically move back there. Maybe you are, but it could also just be your way of your guides telling you, like, you are not happy where you are, girl. You have got to get out of this situation. So I think for you, there can be so much valuable too unpacking you can do of like, why was I happy in this situation? What about that situation made me happy? And how can I maybe step back into that now? What about that situation made me feel at peace, made me feel joyful, made me feel relaxed? And what are steps I can take to access that now? Let me get a final message card for you. Pile number 2. Let's see, this one says the blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. So yeah, the blue flame is also, I love that spontaneous awakening. So it almost is giving me the image of like a spontaneous fire that just sparks up all of a sudden. And I think sometimes situations can feel stagnant. And then it's almost like one thing happens, like someone crosses a line, someone says something too far, someone just gets so burnt out. And that's why suddenly someone can say, my wife just left me. All I did was I didn't cook dinner one night. She was late at work and she asked me to cook dinner for the kids and I just didn't feel like cooking it, so I didn't cook it. And anyway, she left me. She's crazy. And it's like, as women, we probably know that. Like, probably what was happening was she was asking you every night to cook dinner. You never would. And that was the final straw that broke the camel's back. But that's so often how it happens, right? It's like one final moment and you just realize, I can't put up with this anymore. Like, I'm done with this situation. And I also think it's sometimes okay, as long as we're in touch with our intuition, to wait for that moment. But then when that moment comes, we have to be brave enough to actually act on it. We have to be brave enough to take those steps and to move forward from it, and not to just stay stuck, stagnant, and continue to put up with a situation if it's completely not feeling good for us. But anyway, that is what I have for you. Pile number 2. I really hope that resonates. If you want to see more of my readings, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted a reading all about your future lifestyle with your spouse. And there are over 95 exclusive readings you'll only get access to on Patreon. You also get early and ad-free access to all my additional readings. I also posted readings about the brutal truth about this connection, as well as one about what is happening by your next birthday. But like I said, there's so much content, over 95 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon. And you also get early access to my YouTube. So if you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you would like a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, a tarot reading, an astrology session, an open channeling session, a combination of all 3, you get to customize your time with me so it's perfect for you. If that sounds good, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 3. So you guys got the 3 of Swords, the 6 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles reversed, 3 of Wands, and the Magician reversed. So it's interesting, you guys are pile 3, and we got so many 3 cards. 3s in tarot often represent group belonging in some way. And so with the 3 of Swords coming out and then the 3 of Pentacles reversed, it could symbolize that there's some kind of negative situation for you surrounding a group in the month of October. So if you are working in a group at work, if like your boss calls everyone in to collaborate together, this may be the month to just be a little careful, because there could be something that happens where you just feel like you don't belong, or you feel like you don't fit in. And I feel like the message for you is there's a message coming through about you won't even worry about this in the future, or this will not bother you in the future. So like, don't give it so much of your energy, you know. And I'm sure we can all look back at times when maybe we were really stressing, we didn't get along with someone at, you know, a school or whatever, and now we probably could not care less about that person, couldn't pick them out of group, couldn't like give less energy to that, and their opinion, their thoughts of us does not matter at all. And it's really hard to see that in the moment when it feels like that is everything, and it can be so hard to be ostracized. So there is a message for some of you guys, just not to let it get to you if you are feeling like you don't belong. It could also be because you really stick out in a very positive way with the 6 of Wands, because the 6 of Wands shows someone going through a procession in a town square, everyone's cheering them on, everyone's supporting them. And so you guys may not fit in because you fit out in some kind of superior way. You may stand out in a way that brings forth jealousy or envy, or makes people in their feelings because they wish they could be doing what you're doing. So all I'm saying is, don't let this get to you. Don't let it get you down. Don't let it bother you, because honestly, I feel like whatever this situation is, whatever this group is, there's also a lot of dysfunction with them is what I'm getting. Like there's a lot of them having infighting or drama, and maybe you're just the latest person to experience that. But trust me, the problems did not start with you. So if they don't like you, honestly, take it as a compliment in many ways. I also feel like with the Magician reverse, there could be a message around you not having your power or not fully embracing your power, and it may be connected with this group. I think sometimes when people just seem like they don't like us, it can make us really question ourselves. It can make us worry that like, okay, maybe they're right, maybe there is something wrong with me, or I should be doing something differently, or yeah, I am blah, blah, blah. I am not as smart, or I am kind of dumb, or I am kind of, you know, spacey or whatever. And I feel like you're going to really need to like keep your self-image very strong to realize that you are so much more, I don't want to say more important than this situation, because I don't want to seem like I'm being mean or rude to them, but it's like your identity exists outside of this group. They do not define you. They do not get to be the ones to write your story. So why even let them bother you? Why even let it get under your skin? And definitely don't let them erode away your sense of self so that you're questioning what you want to do. Also, it's worth noting that the 3 of Wands is a very intense, like action-oriented energy. It's connected, ruled by Mars and Aries. So the 3 of Wands is often that energy when we are like ready to go out on a mission. Maybe we've been planning it, maybe we've been kind of going back and forth and laying out what we want, and now it's like we're ready to launch, and we have this immense bravery, we have this immense feeling that we can do this, and it's almost like the time for deliberating is over. Now we're in Aries energy, just ready to rush in. So there may be something as well that you have been putting off or kind of indecisive about. Maybe you're almost at that stage too, where like with the 3 of Pentacles reversed, you're like, I'm done learning. I'm done being educated anymore. I just want to rush in. I just want to go. Like, let's make this happen. So you may be embracing a situation with a lot more enthusiasm than you did in the past. And what I'm hearing is this enthusiasm may make you unstoppable. So there may have been situations that you couldn't master before, you couldn't figure out or win, or you just, you know, didn't know what you were doing. And now it's like you come into this situation with such a more strong energy, just kind of not taking no for an answer. So it's like nothing is going to stop you at this time because your energy is just so propulsive and just so fiery and passionate and powerful, that you're ready to do it. And that's often the energy we're in before we accomplish something huge. So yeah, let's get into some astrology dice for pile number 3 of what's going to happen for them in the month of October. So we got the 9th house, okay? The sun. Oh, the sun in Pisces in the 9th house. Wow, okay. So very interesting. So there's Sagittarius and Pisces energy, both signs ruled by Jupiter. And then we have the sun as well, which connects through with Leo. But okay, so Pisces sun in the 9th house. And that is someone that probably loves to travel. One thing Jupiter ruled signs, Sagittarius and Pisces have in common is they do not love to stay stuck in a situation and just deal with the problem and just kind of like have that slow and steady energy. They love to embark on something new. They love to like kind of sometimes run away from problems, and sometimes it can seem really exciting or very powerful. But there's always that message too that sometimes when there's a situation that we have to deal with, as easy as it can feel to flee that situation or just be on to the next and just kind of like leave that in the past, it also can be much more powerful to just be willing to deal with it, to be willing to face it head on, to be willing to acknowledge what's happening, not to be delusional, not to ignore the situation, but maybe we can actually address it. And we may have more power than we realize to actually fix, change, or do things with it. With the magician being reversed, I feel like some of you guys need to hear that message that like, there may be a situation that's driving you crazy, making you upset, and maybe you have this instinct of like, I'm just going to be done with it. I'm over it, I'm going to move on. And if you really feel that and it's coming from an intuitive place, then I think that's completely fine. But we also want to pay attention to those times when maybe it's just easier to flee, when it's just easier to leave something behind instead of working through it, in which case it may actually be such a relief to realize like, I don't have to like throw away this whole car just because the check oil light is on. I can actually take it to be repaired and it's fixable. And just because there's a problem with it doesn't mean I have to like throw the whole thing away, And I think that applies in life too. Maybe there's some situation that we just don't know what to do with. It's so frustrating. It's driving us up a wall and we almost just want to ignore it. And sometimes we can find that if we're willing to address it, if we're willing to do the work and actually embrace it, then actually we can totally alter that situation and we have more power than we may realize. The sun is really an energy of personal power and destiny. It connects with Apollo. So for you guys, this is about realizing your own power and realizing that you have a say in things as well. And also that there's more than one way to get things done. It's interesting because Apollo rules over like divination and fortune telling and predictions, but also so does Hermes, aka Mercury. And they're two different deities with completely different energies, but at the end of the day, they both rule over fortune telling and divination. Hermes is more like tarot cards and stuff like that. Whereas Apollo is more kind of meditative, like download from spirit. But my point is that there's different ways to get the same reaction. Apollo is very powerful, it's very strong, it's very forthright, but then Hermes is kind of a trickster, he's kind of mischievous, he's not completely honest, but they both can work in this same field in totally different ways. And so my point is don't let anyone else tell you too that you're wrong or you're not doing something, or hey, that way isn't welcome here. You have to do it this way. Your way may be perfectly functional. And if you feel inspired to do something in an unpredictable or an unexpected way that's very different, that's very outside the norm, maybe outside of how a group does something, then I feel like Spirit is saying like, hey, good for you. Forge your own path, because you know what? You don't have to dim your power, dim your light in order to fit in. And if you do, that's probably not an environment you want to fit in with. Let me get some message cards for you. Pile number 3. So we want to know what's happening for pile 3 for the month of October. Okay, we got Archangel Phanuel. Hope, optimism, new beginnings. see what cards we're gonna get for pile number 3. We want to get messages for the month of October. Soulful appreciation, heartfelt gratitude. Okay. And then we got 2 cards coming out. This one says achievement, completion, reward. And this is beneath the surface, hidden truth, something unknown. And let's get one final card for you, pile number 3. Past life guides, karmic lessons, present assistance. Another thing about those Jupiter ruled signs that we got is they are both concerned with spirituality and in different ways. Obviously, Pisces is water and Sagittarius is fire, but they're both highly spiritual energies. And I feel like you are also going to be extremely intuitive at this time. A lot of you guys are going to be able to get downloads. A lot of you guys are going to be able to probably pick up intuitively on many messages or any direction that you need to go. I also feel like some of you guys, I keep getting that there's this urge you have to do something and it's almost like no one around you gets it or no one else around you supports it. And I feel like there is that message that you're the only one who can hear that message from spirit. You're the only one who can hear your calling. That's why they call it a calling. You know, you don't get to hear what's on someone else's phone when they're having a conversation. No one else can hear your calling. So they may think what you want to do is a little bit strange, and that's okay for them. But I feel like you are really being called to kind of have faith in yourself. And again, I feel like some of this connects around a group that is trying to make you feel some kind of way, whether it's a family, whether it's a friend group. It's funny because I often think you have to leave behind and kind of burn your past down in order to step into a new destiny. And I'm not saying you have to, you know, cut everyone off and never speak to them again. But a lot of times people who do something big with their life, they find they do have to kind of cut out those old toxic friendships, or they do have to cut out the family members that were always huge haters or were really dysfunctional. I mean, it's kind of a sad reality. It's like if we really want to step into a new paradigm, if we really want to create something new in our life, we do have to kind of get rid of the old. And I just feel like you are being called to have that like self-confidence or that faith in yourself and to bet on yourself above everything. And some of the people around you aren't going to get it. They don't know what you're doing. This could even be a call for if you're in a workplace and you feel constantly doubted, or you feel like people just don't get you, don't understand you, don't know what you're doing. Don't be afraid to leave it behind. Don't be afraid to find a new job, to search something else out. Or if you're in that workplace, just keeping your head on straight. You know, it's funny because I mentioned before this stupid story about these coworkers I had that would always like make negative comments because I would bring in a salad to work every day. And I don't know, they had a complex around me eating salads. They would always like make fun of it or be like, oh, a salad again, and tease me about it. And it's funny because so many of you guys have been like, that's so crazy. That's so wild. I can't believe that they would make fun of you for eating a salad. And I think like it's true, it is really crazy, but at the time to me, it also seemed pretty normal. Like I didn't realize I never really expected people to relate to that story as much as they have, but I think people relate to it because we've all been in that situation where we've been teased for something that's like, in retrospect, it's like, wait a minute, wait, that was so wild. I didn't even do anything bad. But it's so funny how groups work, how they will band up on someone because one girl isn't wearing the same type of jeans as the other group, or one person like dated someone's ex-boyfriend, so now no one can talk to her or whatever. You know what I mean? And if you try to explain it to someone else outside the group, they're like, huh, wait, what? This is so stupid. But when you're on the receiving end of that, it can feel so all-encompassing, and it can feel like, yeah, this is normal and I'm the crazy one. And, you know, I remember at the time questioning, like, maybe it is weird to have salads every day, and maybe there is, I don't know, maybe this is bad somehow, and maybe I should adjust myself. And then it's funny because I moved to LA a few years later, and like Portland, and people there often are so into like organic food. They're so into like health stuff that no one would bat an eye if you have a salad, and they'd probably even like that salad wouldn't even be good enough. They'd have to question whether, you know, the salmon is wild salmon, or whether you had like, you know, sea moss that morning or something like that. So it's like, that's not even like, and my point is when you find the right people, they'll completely get what you're doing and they'll probably even take it up a notch. Like when you find the people that are the right tribe for you, the right vibe for you, you won't have to explain yourself. So keeping that in mind that like, okay, this is a temporary situation I'm in, and maybe these people don't get me, but honestly, they don't really matter. I just feel like that's a message you're really being called to memorize, remember, and hold close to your heart in the month of October. I want to get into some tarot as well, though. Yeah, this could even be about like appreciating yourself with this soulful appreciation card, making sure that you're giving yourself that appreciation, that if you're not getting that appreciation from anyone else, like you're giving it to yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I often find like people in groups, they will band together against someone else as a way to hide their own dysfunction or as a way to make themselves feel better. I mean, I've mentioned it before, and I'm not saying they're connected, but I will say I thought it was really interesting that after uh, I left that office, it was like a few months later, I could see both of them were going on these health kicks, changing how they ate, whatever. And I honestly think a big part of the reason why they were so bothered by what I ate was because they felt like it was a reflection on them. Of course, to me, I was just eating what I like to eat. But I think so much of the time when someone has a bizarrely strong reaction to us, when they don't like us for no reason, when they're hating for no reason, a lot of that is because we bring out something in them or because we highlight something in them that they know dang well is dysfunctional. And with this beneath the surface card, it's really making me think of a situation in which someone knows they're doing something wrong or someone knows that something is messed up, and instead of addressing it, they'd rather blame a scapegoat. They'd rather point fingers at someone who doesn't really belong, who doesn't really deserve it. Let's see, we got the Eight of Cups, and let's get some more cards. The Four of Cups, Queen of Swords, Four of Pentacles, ooh, a lot of fours, the Four of Wands, Seven of Swords reversed, the Devil card, and one more. Okay, this one is the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. So yeah, I feel like some of this is people who resent you for your power or for your strength. And they may be going about it in very shady, underhanded manners. They may not be being fully upfront with you about what's happening. I also feel like for you, there's a feeling of like, I don't really know how to react. I don't really know how to go forward. With the Queen of Swords, that can be showing that using your rational mind, thinking things through can be your power. Because I do know when we're in these situations where we feel hurt or we feel like someone's attacking us, it can be very emotional and our emotions can really take over and we can start really questioning ourselves. We can really start getting in our feelings, feeling so like it's all so unfair. But if we can learn to like take a step back, look at it rationally, it's like, oh, this really isn't a big deal. And I don't really care what like Ethan from accounting has to say about my outfit. So why would I even worry about this? And it's almost like that's a way to take our power back. Also, for some of you guys this month, there could literally be a fun party that you guys get invited to or some kind of fun festivity. This could be a fun month, but I do feel like Spirit is calling on you not to necessarily prize like group membership over your own individual experience, or not to worry so much about what other people think of you and to focus more on like your destiny, your calling, what you want, and even like building your own future. Because I also am getting the message that for some of you guys, there's some part of this journey that you're gonna have to take alone. And I feel like Spirit is maybe even offering you a huge gift with that Four of Cups energy coming out. Spirit may be giving you some kind of amazing opportunity that comes from heaven. That's heaven sent. That's spirit sent to you. And with the Four of Cups, it can be sometimes we don't see it. We don't notice it. We're just too caught up in our daily problems to even notice how we're being blessed. I feel like for you guys, there may be a time this month when you guys are going to have to stand up for yourselves, or you're going to have to use some kind of a conflict, or you're going to have to put some boundary up and like, what is it like, I can't think of the word, but to stand up and advocate for yourself, to give yourself that voice. It's almost like you're gonna have to be your own defender and protector, and there may even be a situation in which you feel called to walk away from, because I also feel like some of you guys, that maybe you are better than the situation, or that you deserve more, or you're not being treated right, you're not being treated well enough, and you know it deep down inside. And I feel like Spirit is saying, that's absolutely true. So if someone isn't going to be willing to see your value, if someone isn't going to be willing to kind of come back and compensate you appropriately, or to give you the credit you deserve, then don't be afraid to walk away. Because I also feel like pile number 3, you guys are like powerhouses, but it's so funny because you have people around you that like gravitate towards your power, know you have the power. They're kind of in awe of you, but they don't want you to know it. They don't feel comfortable with you fully knowing your power. So instead they downplay it and they act like it's really not a big deal. They act like, you have some power, but like whatever, so does everyone. And I feel like for you, you keep trying to get these people to see your value. And I feel like you need to know they already see your value. That's actually the problem. That's actually why they're resentful. It's not because they don't value, it's because they do see your power and you don't even realize how special you are. Pile number 4. I feel like a lot of you guys in this pile, you have some kind of major destiny. Like I said, you got the Pisces, Sagittarius, Sun energy. Okay, so specifically Pisces in the 9th house, Pisces Sun in the 9th house, but very spiritual energies. Okay, so you really need to like own that, and you need to realize that there may be something very special that shines super brightly, and that's going to invite as many haters as it does admirers. Just like when you turn your porch light on, it helps you see, but it also brings in a ton of moths, a ton of bugs, a ton of mosquitoes. So yes, there's good, but there's also bad, and whenever you stand out, you're going to attract both. Let me get some message cards for you. Pile number 4. What messages do we have for pile 4? This one says, big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. I'm telling you, you guys are a visionary. Maybe some of you guys are Pleiades. Let's see, what messages do we have for pile 4 for the month of October? This one is all paths lead home, inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. And let's read these. Oh my gosh, you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness, face your true north. I love that. Exactly. And the cosmic heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. I love the you're not for everyone. That one stands out so much to me for you guys, because I just feel like there's people that are trying to make you feel bad for the fact that they don't like you. They're trying to make that your problem. And I feel like deep inside, like, that's not my problem. You don't have to like me. Like for me with the salads, it's like, that's great that you don't like salads. I'm not trying to make you eat salads. I don't care if you don't like salads, and I'm going to continue eating mine. And a lot of times it can be so hard to stand firm in that. And no matter how small or how stupid of an issue it is, there's such a temptation to like give in and just show them like, I'm not that bad, so you'll like me. But the point is, if someone's hating on you for something as small as, say, a salad, to continue that metaphor, there's nothing you can do that appease them. I could have brought in like a Big Mac every day and eaten that at my desk, or, a giant double, triple Whopper, whatever. And I guarantee you they would have found a way to make fun of that. Like they would have been like, oh, that's so weird. You're going back and forth between burgers and salad. Like they would have found something to say. That's because it wasn't ever about the salads. It was about hating, and it was about being negative, and it was about finding something, anything to make fun of. When you can't make fun of someone actually because they're not really doing anything bad, it's like, oh, let me focus on something so small. And that's why it's so important. And this is an energy I think we're going to see more and more with this Pluto and Aquarius energy happening, where we have to learn to stand firm in our own identity and not prioritize having someone else like us, having a group get us. they don't have to understand you because they are not controlling your destiny. They are not going to determine what happens with your life. Spirit will, and you will. And the more you can stay firm in standing in your own power and focusing on yourself and not letting them get in the way of that, not letting them get in your head or get under your skin, the better of a destiny you're gonna have, the bigger of a destiny you're gonna have, and the more you are going to actually be able to live out your full lifetime of what you're supposed to be doing and what Spirit has destined for you. So yeah, I feel like you guys just really need to keep that in mind, listening to your own inner authority, your own intuition over what anyone else thinks, because really they do not matter. And I feel like that's something your guides are going to be bringing up for you more and more, is like, you already know what's going on. You don't need any of these people to validate you, to understand you, to get you, to like you. Okay, you are fine as you are, and if they don't like you, too bad. But that is the message I have for you, pile number 4. I really hope that resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted a reading all about your future life with your spouse or your next relationship, but there are over 95 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted also another reading about the brutal truth about this connection, as well as one about what is happening for you by your next birthday. And then, like I said, early access to YouTube videos. But there is so much to see over on Patreon, lots of content. If you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be pulling tarot for you, reading your astrology, just open channeling, a combination of all three, you get to really customize your session so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good and you would like to sign up, head to the link in my description for briarrosetarot.com. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 4, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the 10 of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, the Sun, the Lord, aka the Emperor, and the 6 of Cups. So wow, what an amazing month it seems like you guys are going to have. We have so many cards of achievement, of success, and this just being a really beautiful month for you guys. I feel like you guys should get the like grand prize for this month, okay? Because I wasn't expecting so many positive cards, and there may be a lot of opportunities for you to kind of sit back, relax, and enjoy the fruits of your labors this month. With the 10 of Pentacles coming in, maybe there's something you were working at for a while and it finally comes to fruition, or you get a vacation, or there's a little bit of a pause and you can kind of look back at like, wow, look at all I did, look at all I accomplished. And I almost feel like Spirit is calling on you to do that, to give yourself that little pat on the back and not to just blow past. I think so much of the time when we achieve something, it's almost like our human mind just wants to go right on to the next, like, okay, what do I have now? Well, okay, now this goal. But there's something so alchemically powerful, spiritually powerful, and great for manifesting about sitting in that energy of being grateful, being proud, being happy with our success, and really making the most of that, and not just moving on to the next moment. So I feel like Spirit is calling on you to just take a moment to pause and process how far you've come. Because you really have, I feel like, overcome a lot, done a lot, achieved a lot. And I feel like Spirit is really happy for you for all of that. You may be being elevated to some kind of new position of power this month with the Emperor card coming out. This could be like a promotion. This could be a new position in your career, or some kind of upgrade in some way, some kind of more power, or some kind of more money as well, definitely with the 10 of Pentacles. So it could be a raise in your salary or something like that. But yeah, I feel like this is going to be a really great banner month. And the other thing is you got the Queen of Cups as well. So this could show even getting more of an advantage, or that some of your goodness and some of the like upgrades you're getting and some of the success you're achieving is because of your ability to have good people skills, your ability to be intuitive, and your ability to talk to people. And you may find that you're extra intuitive in the month of October. And you know, the veil is a lot thinner this time of year, so it is a great time of the year for us to be really focused on opening ourselves up, getting those downloads, and kind of like exposing ourselves to the other side, to the astral plane, and to what our guides, angels, ancestors have to say about that. So I could see also some of you guys getting more into your spiritual work. Spirit is showing me some people like lighting candles with intention, or doing a new moon or a full moon ritual. I feel like for a lot of you guys, you are going to maybe be doing more research, learning more, getting more into astrology or tarot. But I definitely feel like some of your success is connected with this, or even connected with the part of you that is intuitive and kind and warm and empathetic. So if you ever feel like, I just need to focus and I need to stop, being so nice to people, or this isn't going to get me ahead. No, some of your success may literally come from your people skills and from your ability to talk to people, ability to vibe with people as well. I want to spin the astro dice to get some astrological energies at play for you. Pile number 4 for the month of October. Let's see what astrological energies are at play. So we got the 6th house, and then we have a Leo, and then we have the 6th house, and we also have the North Node. So this is a Leo North Node in the 6th house. Okay, so when you have, wow, and that's perfect because it's coming out over the sun. So when you have a North Node in Leo, one of your destinies is to shine. And especially being in the 6th house, that's actually our house of daily routine. So it can show that we have this very powerful need to serve others, to give to others, to be empathetic, to be kind, which we already were kind of talking about, and actually that we can find success through kind of giving service to others. And also that success doesn't always have to be glamorous. Sometimes success is all about our daily schedule. It's all about how we spend our days. I think that even if someone's making so much money, if their daily schedule is completely miserable, say they, have to wake up at 6 a.m. every day, they never have time to see their family, they're working until 11 p.m. at night, they're chained to their desk, and maybe they don't love it, maybe it's not fulfilling to them, and they barely see their family, their loved ones, their friends. Most people, I think, would be like, yeah, that doesn't sound so tempting to me. Like, the money would be nice, great, but I don't really want that lifestyle. And then, meanwhile, if you took someone who was like a writer in a cottage in the woods, and maybe they're not making that much money, but they love their routine, they're so fulfilled, they, get to see their family or friends every day, they just are so happy, or maybe living in, a walk-up apartment in like the West Village in New York City. Maybe they don't have as much money. They probably don't. But if they were really fulfilled with their daily life and they loved their schedule, loved their routine, I feel like a lot more people would feel jealous of that person, or would be like, wow, I would love that, than with the person who's like the tech executive that never, ever, ever gets a day off. And so there's a message here for some of you guys to pay attention to how you spend your day-to-day life, especially if you have more success now, or you have more freedom now. I feel like Spirit is saying you have the power to influence this. You have the power to really dictate how you get to spend your days. And so why not spend them doing something that you really love? Why spend them in a way that is going to make you miserable? And so maybe pay attention to all those things that make up your daily routine, like your surroundings, where you live, your schedule of how you start your day. Maybe you start every day with a sugary cereal, and you would feel better if you had like some protein and maybe some avocado or something to get a little more fiber. Or maybe you literally love having like a bowl of hot chocolate in the morning and that makes you super happy. But whatever it is, I feel like this is about really being intentional and careful, and like not cautious, but like paying attention. Because I think so much of the time in life, it's easy to get swept away into a routine and just be like, oh yeah, that's just how it is. It's almost like you stop by McDonald's one morning to grab an Egg McMuffin for breakfast, and then next thing you know, you're going every day. Or, at the end of the day, you're super tired and stressed, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have some candy. I just need some energy, and I want some sweets. So you do that, and then next thing you know, it becomes a habit of like, I'm just gonna have a little sweet treat after work every day. I'm gonna have some candy. And of course, it's fine in moderation, but the sixth house is a health house. Maybe that's why these health metaphors are coming up. So it's like, and it's funny, I was talking about, success in the sixth house. So many people, like, they would much rather be a healthy, vibrant, energetic, perfect health 20-year-old with lots of time left in their life than the richest, most incredible billionaire in the world who has, a lot of health issues and is like a lot older and probably doesn't have a great prognosis, because really health is wealth. And when we feel good in our bodies and when we feel good about our daily schedule, our daily routine, all those things are so interconnected. So it's worth paying attention to, like, if you live in a place that just is not the kind of nature you like. I know for me, I've mentioned this before, but I'm definitely a woods, trees, and seasons girl. I love to have green around me. I'm not saying I would never live in another place that's super sunny, but I will say at this point, I know it just doesn't make me as happy as if I have access to like trees and seasons and blah blah blah. That just puts a smile on my face. I love fall, I love winter, but for everyone it's different. For other people, they can't stand winter. Going through the middle of winter is like hell to them, and then they go to some place like Florida or LA and they're super super happy to have the year-round sunshine. Whatever makes you feel good. I mean, life is too short to be living in a place where you're miserable, to be having a daily routine that makes you miserable. And that's why it's so important that we all are clear and careful, and we like pay attention to how we feel throughout our schedule, throughout our day, what puts a smile on our face and what doesn't. And I feel like for you guys, you're being reminded that you now are at a place maybe where you have some freedom, power, and autonomy. If you're not there yet, then this month may be a powerful month to help steer you in that direction and get you headed in that, starting to get you to that place. But I feel like a big question we want to ask ourselves is like, what would make me happy? Because so much of the time, those things we think will make us happy, success, money, a lot of times those things, they certainly, they at a certain point start kind of running out of steam for us. You can only celebrate like a salary raise for so long. Even to a certain extent, sometimes a relationship, it brings us happiness for some time, and then we kind of get used to it. We're euphoric in love at the beginning, and then it's like, oh yeah. So you have to pay attention to like, how am I feeling in my day-to-day life with this person? Is this person making my day-to-day life happier? Does their routine help with my routine? Do they put a smile on my face? Do I feel peaceful and calm around them? Or was I just like, oh my gosh, they're so hot. This is so exciting when they were first into me, because that isn't really super sustainable. And definitely Virgo energy, sixth house energy is more concerned with what is sustainable. All earth signs are like this. They're very like focused on like, okay, is this going to last for long? How long is this going to be in the long term? How is this going to be in the long term? And so I feel like that's the question Spirit wants you to really ask yourself, is like mapping out the kind of life for yourself that is going to make you happy and not just be a temporary thrill, but is really going to bring you fulfillment. So if there's something in your life that has been eating away at you that you're like, yeah, I'm just not happy with that, that's something you should change. But yeah, there is a lot of success coming in for you guys, and there may even be a lot of happiness. There may even be some nostalgia going on with the Six of Cups, where you guys may start getting memories of things from the past. You may feel really called to certain eras from your past, which again, I also think that can be a message that it's worth unpacking, like what was happy about that, what was different, because sometimes we can romanticize the past, but sometimes there's genuinely something there that we're supposed to take from, like for me, I know, because I was questioning, I really don't like it when there aren't seasons, but maybe that's just me not liking the city. And maybe if I go back into a place with seasons, I'm just missing that because of some nostalgia for this in my life. But then I found whenever I'm in a place where there's a lot of greenery, yes, I'm happier. And again, not to hyperfixate on that, but whatever it is for you, it's worth questioning like, okay, what is it about this thing that keeps bringing back those memories? Why do I keep thinking of them? Why does that keep coming up for me? Because there may be something there worth investigating. Let me get some message cards for you. Pile number 1. Excuse me, pile 4. This is pile 4. What cards do we have for pile 4? Letting go of urgency, surrender, freedom from time constraints. And it's funny because this is so 6th house, because it's all about, the 6th house is all about your schedule and to a certain extent time constraints, and it's all about our daily work. So yeah, it's funny, this 6th house energy coming through a lot. And ultimately, I feel like that is the ultimate freedom, is when we don't have any time constraints. Achievement, completion, reward. Yes, you guys are definitely achieving something in this month. This feels like something big happening, something that you wanted for a long time coming true. Currents of emotion, uncontrolled feeling. What messages do you have for pile number 4 for the month of October, Spirit? Phase, entanglement, emotional influence, and relaxation, peaceful pursuits, happy time. And I really think that emphasis on relaxation is so important for you guys, and making sure, again, that you're also like celebrating the fruits of your labor, you know, because it's like, also, what's the point in having success if you don't actually celebrate it and enjoy that? Back to that metaphor of the guy who's earning a lot of money, but his schedule is completely overloaded. So don't be afraid to like take a vacation. Don't be afraid to relax. Don't be afraid to buy yourself something a little indulgent that maybe you usually wouldn't spend so much. I feel like you are being called to also give yourself credit, because I feel like to a certain extent, you are a lot of people's kind of backbone, or they rely on you on such a deep level. There are a lot of people that your energy really feeds them and really kind of dictates their mood and how things go for them. There's a lot of people who turn to you when they're going through a hard time, and I don't even think you realize what a rock you are and how much you make other people happy. And I feel like Spirit is saying you need to also pour that energy back into yourself. There could also be some kind of moment of major clarity happening for you in the month of October, where you realize some situation, you get some kind of realization, you get some kind of download where it suddenly all makes sense and everything just falls into place the way you wanted. So yeah, I feel like whatever is happening in October for you guys, this is a really good month. And Spirit is also saying you're feeling more physically vital and powerful this month than you would have in the past. Maybe in the past you couldn't have handled getting this kind of news, getting this kind of download. You may have been overwhelmed by it. And I feel like you're so much stronger now. This could be Spirit wanting you to have credit of like, you have really let yourself be reborn. You have done the shadow work. And I feel like Spirit may be rewarding you by making things just a little bit easier in the month of October. Let's get into some tarot though as well. What messages do we have for pile 4 for the month of October, Spirit? Oh my gosh, the Sun card coming through again. Wow. Amazing. I love that for you guys. Yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful month. And one thing that the Sun definitely does, speaking of getting some downloads, is it gives us clarity. You know, when the Sun comes out, it's like we may have been, you know, like I always think such a demonstration of the power of the Sun is if you're like sleeping in a room and maybe, you know, I don't know, the blinds don't close all the way. Or I remember I was staying in this really great hotel room, but there was a problem. The blinds like didn't go all the way to the bottom because there was this floor to ceiling window. And so there was just this tiny little sliver of maybe a couple inches where it didn't connect at the bottom. And I brought it up to them like, hey, could something be done? And they were like apologetic, but I think they were like, yeah, it's like a long blind. We can't fix it right now. We're sorry. Do you want to move rooms? And I was like, no, I like the room, so it's fine. But the point is that in the morning, I thought, oh, it'll be okay. It's just a couple inches, like whatever. But no, as soon as the sun was up, it was like the room was just blasted with light. And I literally thought, how is this even possible? Like we're talking about a couple inches here, and yet the sun like is so bright, it's shining all over the room. I can't sleep at all. And yeah, I think we've all probably had that experience in a room where maybe there's one little skylight and we cover up most of it, but there's a little glimmer of sunlight, but it's enough to light up that whole room. And that's something the sun does. I feel like that's something you do. You make other people glow up as well. But I also feel like this is bringing something to your awareness in the month of October, getting some kind of deep clarity on some situation. If you've been in a situation and not sure how to proceed, you may get clarity on it. I also feel like you guys may be getting some kind of vindication, or if there was a situation where you were very unsure and maybe you were like, I think I did the right thing, or I hope I read this person right. Maybe you cut someone out of your life, or I don't know, you made some kind of move and you were like, I'm not sure if this was right or not. I feel like you're going to get that vindication in October that yes, you absolutely did make the right choice. Let's see what other cards we're going to get for pile number 4. So we got the Strength card reversed and the World card upright. Wow. Yes, the World card is a moment of completion. It's when we finish something, we are done with it, and we have accomplished whatever it is we wanted to accomplish. The King of Pentacles, oh my gosh. There's so much good money coming in for you guys, so much success. The 8 of Wands reversed. This could definitely be like a vacation, because the 8 of Wands is a very urgent energy that's usually very busy and doing a lot. So this could be you being able to take a break. You got the King of Wands and finally relax. And the 7 of Cups. Wow. So yeah, this could be finally being able to take a break or really relax. And I feel like Spirit is saying this has been a long time coming. I feel like Spirit is also saying if you get some kind of influx of cash, pile number 4, to kind of be careful with how you spend it, or to be thoughtful about it, not to rush in. Again, at the beginning of the reading, we had gotten Virgo, Leo, North Node in Virgo. But Virgo is a very methodical energy, and it's very careful. It's very deliberate. It doesn't rush in. And I feel like there's something about, if you do get some money, making sure that you are, not that you have to be overly careful, but I feel like there's so much potential. I feel like Spirit is even saying for you to maybe even like dream bigger, or to ratchet up your plans so that they're even stronger in some way. Like this is like, hey, this is something that could be even better than it is right now. And I feel like Spirit is saying to have faith in yourself, but also to be kind of like cautious. I feel like this is also a month that's a little bit slower, a little bit easier, and there's maybe some planning energy going on. Now let's get some message cards for you. Pile number 4. We want to know what's happening with pile 4 for the month of October, what they need to know. So this one is activated earth, power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. Cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Okay, and the golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. And I remember soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. Yeah. So that's interesting because we also got the North Node, which does connect with this South Node, I remember energy. And then the North Node can be the fated life energy. So definitely has a nodal vibe to that card. And I feel like maybe, and it's interesting, again, Leo North Node. Leo's energy is to shine bright. It's to be as big as possible. It's to have a lot of joy and success. It's not to stay in the shadows or stuck or stagnant. It's to like dream bigger, be bigger. And I feel like you're being called on that as well. Like if you've achieved some success, there's no need to stop now. There's no need to be like, okay, that's done. Great. Okay, on to the next. But maybe to allow it to like make you realize how amazing you are, and to take a moment to pause, to maybe even change your self-identity from someone who questions or doubts yourself, or is like, yeah, I'm okay, and yeah, I've done some great things, to like, wow, I'm really incredible and I'm capable of doing absolutely anything. And like, taking that moment to give yourself that credit that you deserve. I feel like that's really what Spirit is calling from you right now, and to dream bigger, to change your view of things so that you realize all the golden possibilities you guys are facing. It's funny because we also are seeing activated Earth. And to me, what really sticks out with that is ley lines and how they make everything more powerful. That you build something on a ley line and it's going to be so much more powerful. And this is why there's so many spiritual sites on the ley lines, because they knew this. So if they were going to take the effort to build a temple, it's like, you know what? We're doing it on a ley line, because why wouldn't we? Why would we place it somewhere where it's not going to get that same surge of energy? And that's my point, is sometimes where we live, it can really affect how we are. It can really affect the energy we have. So maybe for some of you guys, this could be considering a move as well, or paying attention to your living situation or the city you're in or something like that. I feel like Spirit is saying, like, they just want you to dream even bigger as we're starting to head into the end of the year. And October may be that month when really things start speeding up for you, ratcheting up, and your power is just shining extra brightly this month, pal. So that is what I have for you. I really hope that resonates. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about your future life with your spouse or next relationship, but there are over 95 exclusive readings you'll only get access to on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I also posted one all about the brutal truth about this love connection, what is really going on, as well as what is happening for you by your birthday. But like I said, there's so much content over on Patreon, and you also get early access to YouTube videos. If you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments, in the description, and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, a tarot reading, astrology session, channeling session, or a combination of all three. You get to really customize your session, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good and you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. So thank you so much for watching, guys. The link for Patreon is in my description, by the way, not underneath the timestamps, if that's what I said. I don't know. But anyways, guys, that's the end of our reading for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you all my love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys, and I will see you then. Bye.